And it's always our pleasure to welcome the head coach of the men's basketball team on the Mesa, Brian Dutcher, back with us in the home of the Aztecs, John and Jim, and San Diego Sports 760, reacting to summer practice, which is now over, and the basketball season just about 2.5 months away. Believe it or not, Dutch, we appreciate you taking time for us here today. How have the last handful of weeks been watching your team get ready for this upcoming year? And thanks for hopping on.
It's been a lot of fun, John, obviously. We just finished workouts this week, summer workouts. We get an hour on the floor, basically 4 days a week, and we got a lot of work done, and it is exciting. A lot of new pieces, a lot of returning pieces, and a few injured pieces we're going to get back. So it's really exciting.
How do you feel about this team this year at this time compared to how you felt heading into last year's team with last year's team?
You always feel better when you have experience, and we're returning a really experienced roster. So last year we knew we were talented. But we had to figure out how all these young guys would contribute, playing 3 freshmen, 3 sophomores. That's a pretty young roster. And now this year, those sophomores are juniors, those freshmen are sophomores, and we're older, we're more mature, we're bigger, we're stronger, and so hopefully all that and experience will pay dividends.
Brian Dutcher with us right now, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Aztecs have completed summer practices. They'll get ready for the fall coming up in a couple of weeks. I want to ask you about Miles Byrd and your thoughts on how his summer experiences or the offseason experiences are going to impact him. As he worked out in Los Angeles with a great group of players, a number of which were drafted, some in the lottery. Then he completed the NBA Combine process as well. What type of impact will his offseason have potentially on his upcoming year?
He's played a lot of basketball over the summer, John. The season ended. He got right up there to L.A., started training with prospective draft choices like himself, trained hard, went to the Combine, played really well at the Combine. And I think he probably would have ended up being a second-round draft pick. But nothing was guaranteed, and so he decided to return. And then he got right back into with our team the summer session, second session, summer session. So he's had a summer full of basketball. And how can that not pay dividends for Miles himself and for the Aztecs?
I saw a picture the other day. John actually showed me it of Magoon Gwath. I mean, he looks unrecognizable with the weight that he's put on. How is he progressing with his knee? And going to the point that I just made there, like how do you feel about where he's at with his body going into this season?
Well, obviously, because he can't really train up and down. He's getting shooting in, he's rehabbing. He looks like he's biting at the bit to go. If you'd have just watched him shoot on the sideline, you'd say he'd be ready to play. Mm-hmm. But we're, due to an abundance of caution, we want to make sure we go through the full rehab cycle and make sure he's 100% when he steps back on the floor. And hopefully that will be early October. But he looks great. He looks phenomenal. And like I said, I think if we could put 3 or 4 more pounds on him, it'd be 40 pounds since he came in as a redshirt freshman.
That is unbelievable.
40 pounds.
Unbelievable. It's only been 2 years. Yeah,
he
just is as strong as ever, getting ready for his redshirt sophomore season. Brian Dutcher with us right now, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. How excited is Reese Waters? Because he missed all of last year. He's back now for a final college season. What's this offseason and this summer like for him, coming off injury, ramping up for a final year?
Yeah, I think the summer was good for Reese. We were cautious with him. We let him do a lot of skill work. We didn't go live early in the summer, and then toward the end of the summer, we started letting him go live reps. And he looks good, but it's you miss a full year, it's getting your timing back. And that last week of practice, I thought his timing was starting to come back. He moved better, he shot better, and so I'm excited to get Reese into a tip-top game condition and throw him back out there.
I honestly did not recognize BJ Davis after his haircut. I was like, who is that? And we had BJ on the show a couple weeks ago. But for you, Dutch, what have you seen from him this offseason as he enters his junior year?
I mean, we started summer practice, and he came back with that haircut, and I said, you're way more aerodynamic. And he went up and dunked the ball. He dunked the ball like I never seen him dunk, and I'm like, we should have cut that hair a long time ago. So, hopefully this haircut will be nothing to do with help him, but also the fact that now he's a junior. Haven't started every game last year. So BJ looks good. He rolled his ankle, I think, the day before the last workout. And so we held him out the last workout. He'll have 8 or 9 days before we start up again to kind of get feeling better on that ankle. But he looks good. BJ looks very good.
Brian Dutcher with us right now, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Speaking of a junior, Miles Heide, he had that big second half of the year for you, Dutch. When Magoon went out, he took on more of a role on floor and had some of the best games he played to this point in his career in an Aztec uniform. What do you think the second half of last year does for Miles Heide entering year 3?
This is the year for bigs. It usually takes 2 or 3 years to get acclimated to play in that position in college, and he's been on the right train since he came here as a freshman. This is his big year, the year to step up and be the player we all know he is. And a lot of that has to do with him being confident. You know, when he's playing well, he looks as good as anybody in the country. But it's having those nights where things aren't going well to keep his confidence up, keep the aggressiveness at a high level, and deliver for us like he did in stretches last season.
What's impressed you the most about Taj and Farrell this offseason?
Just the fact that they're sophomores. You know, things are easier. The stuff we had to really think about in early season workouts last year and during the year have now become habit to them. And good habits are as hard to break as bad ones. And so they form good habits, and that's translated to better play on the floor.
Brian Dutcher with us right now. Again, summer practice is over for the Aztecs. They'll start in early November in about 2.5 months. One of your additions via the portal was Sean Newman Jr., who was one of the top point guards in terms of assists per game in the nation last year. How do you expect him to fit in? How is he acclimated to this point?
He's definitely a pass-first point guard, and we've had every kind of point guard in this program over my 26 years here. We've had scoring points. We've had pass-first points. And he is a pass-first point guard. That's not to say he's not a capable scorer, but he really finds his teammates. And that's exciting to see because we've got good teammates to find this year. You know, there were years where the point guard had a score for us to put up enough points to win. But this is a year we have a lot of good pieces, and to have a pass-first point guard is a good thing for the Aztecs.
We've had a lot of players on the show over the last month, and one thing that stood out to me, Dutch, is every time we've talked about what they want to improve on and what they want to do this upcoming season is they all said they wanted to be a leader. They all wanted to have their voice be heard. What does that say about your team right now that you have a lot of guys on it, you know, that want to be in that leadership role? They want their voices, you know, to be heard out there for the Aztecs this season.
Yeah, obviously we have to have leadership, and there are 2 kind of teams. There are coach-driven teams and player-driven teams, and player-driven teams are always better. So hopefully we have enough guys that are motivated to drive not only themselves, but their teammates to greatness.
You have a couple of players that you added via the portal that have significant playing time in the Mountain West. Latrell Davis at San Jose State, Jeremiah Oden, who played at the University of Wyoming. This is a unique league, as you know better than most. What does that experience within the league mean for them entering your program?
Means everything. These are guys that we had a tough time guarding. Yeah. When they were at Wyoming or they were at San Jose. Latrell put up 20 plus on us twice last year. And so he's been very good in early workouts. You know, he has an ability to score the ball. He attacks the basket with great strength. And so we're excited to have Latrell. And then obviously Jeremiah is 6-year senior. That's what you're dying for at the college levels, to have that kind of experience. And he can really shoot the ball. And that's something Aztec fans want to hear. They want to know that we've got more shooting out there this year, and Jeremiah is a special shooter.
Dutch, a couple of more before you go, one of which is on your incoming freshman class. Tay Simmons, LZ Harrington, high expectations for both. How have they been in their first college summer?
I think if you put Tay in front of a bunch of people and said, pick the freshman out, they wouldn't pick Tay. Right. He's so big and strong already. He's got great size and strength, athleticism about him. He tweaked a hamstring, and so he missed the last couple weeks of the summer. So we're trying to get that hamstring back into shape. They can be lingering. So we're really trying to get that hamstring where he feels good on it again and get him ready for the fall. And then LZ is just an incredible playmaker. He is a mid-range finisher. He can shoot the 3, and he is a talented freshman. So we're excited to have both those young guys in the program.
Dutch, one more before you go is on your schedule, which is always challenging in the non-conference. It will be again. I think you've already announced, obviously, Players Era when you're playing Michigan and Oregon. You've announced a neutral game against the University of Arizona as well. What do you hope to see from your team, and how important is scheduling like that to reach your goals of the NCAA tournament in 2026?
I mean, we were one of the last teams in the tournament last year, and it was because we beat Houston and Creighton.
Yeah.
So the preseason is always important. You know, you can make the tournament in November if you play well. And so our goal is to play well in November again and try to get some of these wins against top 25 and maybe even top 10 competition. If we fail in those opportunities, we still have a Mountain West season ahead of us and the postseason Mountain West tournament. So we try to give ourselves as many opportunities as we can to be a NCAA tournament team.
Dutch, as you know, Aztec fans could not be more excited. Men's basketball coming up in about 10 weeks or so in early November. We appreciate you taking time for us and our listeners to share what's been going on this summer with your program. So be well. We will see you soon, and we're looking forward to this fall. And thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Dutch.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I hope they got you guys in the shade over there.
We're inside.
We're inside.
They got us in the interview room. Yeah, we're inside.
Air conditioning. You got a snack or two. You're ready to go.
We need the snack or two.
Yeah, the snack is lacking, but we're indoors, so that's a good thing.
All right, guys. Well, enjoy FanFest. I'm excited for another Aztec football season.
We are as well.
Yes,
we are as well. We'll have Sean on later on. But thanks, Dutch, for doing it.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right, great stuff. Brian Dutcher, head coach of the Aztecs.
Yeah, I'm glad we're in here. Being outside,
it's warm.
It's a little warm.
I mean, we're in Mission Valley. You know how it is in August. It can get warm. All right, let's react. Plus, the latest on Michael King. If you missed the news, he's been placed on the IL with knee inflammation. What impact does it have on the Padres moving forward? We're getting set for the Showdown Series in Los Angeles that begins tomorrow night. Plus, Rich Orberger is going to join us coming up in the next hour at 4:15. Of course, he'll be on the call once again for San Diego State football here in 2025. A ton to get to today. Stay with us on John and Jim.